Hey, guess what, life coaches? I have good news for you. You do not need a pricey, overblown website to sell your services. Do not. I promise you. There is a better way, and I'm going to teach it to you. First of all, if you haven't had a professionally designed website built for you, you are looking at some real sticker shock. Most of these websites cost thousands of dollars. I even have a friend who spent over $10,000 on hers. Yikes. And they take months and months to build very often, but they are not necessary. In my opinion, they are a waste of both money and time, and they can actually hold you back as you grow as a life coach because you don't know how to maintain it yourself. More on that later. I'm Bonnie Wiscombe, a business coach who helps other life coaches launch and finally start making consistent money because they have all the tech set up, they have the right strategy, and they know how to get them. My audience and clients get really hung up on websites, and for good reason. Once you have your name and face on the internet, you feel legit, right? And so many of us fall into this trap of spending way too much time and money on branding packages, the right colors, the right fonts, and this gorgeous website with multiple pages so that we can feel legit and like an actual professional. That's fantastic. But guess what? If you're a life coach, you likely know that you don't need a website to feel legit. That's all up here. So we can work on that in another video. But I want to let you know that there are plenty of cons to these very expensive professionally designed websites, and there is a better way. And I'm going to show you how to do it later in this video. So some of the cons include obviously cost. You don't want to spend thousands of dollars of your hard-earned money on a website. Time, sometimes it takes several months to go through all the iterations and get all the feedback from your designer. It's unnecessary, but probably the most important reason is that your potential clients will get lost in this website, go down rabbit holes clicking buttons instead of actually taking action to work with you. And that's the whole point of your web presence, is to get people to come work with you. And then the final con is if a professional builds it for you and you don't know how to code, you're not going to be able to edit this website or improve it or add pages to it without more expensive help. And you don't want that either. Now, how do I know all this? I know from painful experience. I owned and updated my own WordPress website for over a decade. And I am not a coder. I don't know how to do this stuff. I Googled and YouTubed all day long and it was a pain in the butt. And did I figure it out? I did. But if there had been an easier way, I would have done that easier way. It was not fun. And I'm not a fan of sending other life coaches down that road if they can help it. So first of all, let's talk about the sole purpose of a website or a web presence. Do you know what it is? It's not so your audience members can go get lost down your blog and find out more about you and just click around all day. No, the sole purpose of your web presence should be to get people to give you their contact information. So if I Google how to find a health coach and I land on your web presence, I'm going to call it a web presence instead of a website, but it technically is the same thing. You want to get my contact information from me. Why? Because typically I'm only going to spend a few seconds on that page before I bounce and I go fall down a rabbit hole in Facebook or Instagram or somewhere else. You want to grab that contact information as soon as possible. Then you have the power to follow up with them via phone, via email, add them to your email list, and continue to nurture them in their inbox until they're ready to buy. If you lose those precious few seconds of contact, however they got to your website, you may never get them back, and you don't want that. Now, I'm going to share with you guys one of my favorite books in all of marketing, and it's called Marketing Made Simple. The reason this book is fantastic is because it is a step-by-step guide for building a super simple web page for this purpose. The purpose is to get their contact information. Now, it's a fantastic book if you're a little bit more advanced in your business building progress. I don't recommend it for newbies because it can be a little bit overwhelming, but when you're ready to follow the pros, I highly recommend that book. Put it on your list. Now, once we get their contact information, then we're able to nurture them and then we're able to sell to them. That is a sales funnel. If you watch any of my videos, you know I'm obsessed with sales funnels. They are just the customer journey that your ideal client goes through before they come to work with you. If you need a reminder for what those sales funnel steps are, click the video on the screen right now. That's a quick one that will give you a reminder. So, what does this simple web presence look like? Well, first of all, it is one page. You're not going to have a homepage and an about me and a blog and a learn more and a contact me and a podcast. None of that. One page. This simple web page is going to have a couple of different sections. This book, when you're ready to get real professional, will give you about 10 different sections for this web page, but those are not necessary. As a beginner, you need just two sections. Are you ready? The top one is called the header. That's the first thing people see when they show up. This header is only going to have one thing in it. It's going to tell your audience about your freebie. This is something of value that we offer for free, really in exchange for someone's contact information. So that could be a PDF, a video series, a free call, any number of things that are going to help your client get to the next step. In fact, I have a whole video about this as well. I'll put it on the screen. If you haven't created a freebie yet, go watch that and make a freebie. It's very, very important that this header only have that information, only says, This is how I can help you. Click here for the freebie. There shouldn't be links to any other page. There shouldn't be any distractions. And all of this information should be above the fold. That means they shouldn't have to scroll to see any of that header, okay? There should just be information about what you do, how you can help them, and the button to download that freebie, okay? That's the first section your webpage needs. The second section is a short about me section. So that is saying who you are and sets you up as the authority that can help them. Small caveat here, this about you section is not actually about you. It's about how you can help them. If you go on and on about your pets and how important chocolate is to you, people lose interest. They don't really want to know about you. They want to know, are you the expert for me? So keep that in mind. You're only telling them about you in reference to how you can help them. So the header with the freebie and the short about me section, that is all you need. You do not need to spend $10,000 to pay a professional to create that. Now, remember how I talked about that other con in paying a professional, that you can't change things? This is maybe my biggest frustration when working with clients who have a professional website already built, is that when we want to edit it or update it or change things up a little bit, they don't know how to do more than just editing a few words. And that really limits your ability to grow. That is not sustainable. You don't want to spend thousands of dollars on a website and then keep paying the professional every time you need to update or change a picture or switch out a font. Not cool. So instead, I'm going to show you how to do it all by yourself. Once you learn this skill, you can build a landing page or a web page, whatever you want to call it, anytime, day or night. It is hands down one of the most powerful, useful tools I have ever taught myself how to create web pages. And there are so many amazing programs out there to do it. I could tell you about them all day long, but I'm just going to give you one simple one because it's the one I recommend for my clients. My favorite way to do this is with what they call an all-in-one tool, because it also gives you access not only to websites or web pages, gives you access to sending emails to your audience. It allows you to store and deliver that freebie that you create. It allows you to sell your coaching, take money from people, and other digital products like courses or podcasts. These tools are very, very powerful, but you don't have to be overwhelmed. You just need to do one thing with it, and that's build your web page. I will say, just because I know you're probably going to ask, this is a tool that requires a monthly fee. Now, one of the reasons a lot of people like to build like a WordPress or a Squarespace website is that the initial costs are very, very low. But in my experience, the long-term costs are much higher because you have to pay professionals to do it. So I highly recommend an all-in-one software like this one, where you're going to pay between $50 to $200 a month, which I know can sound steep when you're not making money, but then you have the power to do whatever you want in your business without a professional's help. It's really, really powerful. And when you start considering all the other tools you're going to start paying for, like an email service provider and a place to take payments and all those other things, it really makes sense to use an all-in-one tool. So I'm going to show you how to build a really simple, really quick landing page or web page in ClickFunnels, my tool of choice. Okay, so this is a very simple landing page that I've created for my clients in order to show them just how simple your single web page should be. So this is the header that I talked about, this big section at the top. I usually recommend one picture. You can do a stock photo like this, but even better is a photo of yourself so they get to be familiar with your face and realize how friendly you are and how much it looks like you can help them. And then you're going to do just a little bit of copy here on the right that's going to say something like how you can this, how to lose 10 pounds in 30 days, how to stop yelling at your kids in a week, how to meal prep in just 1 hour, whatever actionable tip you can give them in a guide of some sort or video series or however you want to package that freebie. This is what you're basically advertising right here. A very small amount of words, just enough to get them to take action. What they're going to do is they're going to click this button, and this button is going to allow them to enter in their name and email address. Now, I'm not going to show you how to connect that freebie in this video, but essentially I'm just going to show you just how simple this single web page can be, okay? Now, in this one, I've actually added a couple extra sections. Remember how I said that Marketing Made Simple book gives you lots of options to make it really, really compelling. I like to have like some problems that people struggle with, maybe some testimonials, but all you really need is this main header portion and a little bit about you down here. Meet your coach or something along those lines. Now, remember how I said we're only going to have one button on the page, but you see a couple of them here, right? Here's one, download the free guide. Oh, look, here's the same button. It's just repeated. That's allowed. And there is actually one other button or link I will allow on your homepage, as if you're asking my permission. But if you want to know it, here it is. And that's book a free call with me. But I would not put it at the top for the most part, because most people are not coming to your website ready to book a call with you. They're just coming a little bit curious, wanting to know a little bit more. So I do highly recommend just starting with the button that is downloading the free guide. Now, if you consider yourself not very tech friendly and you haven't used a software like this, it can seem overwhelming. But you guys, there are so many tutorials out there that will take you step by step. I'm not going to show you every single step for how to edit every font and every color, but just know that this is the simplest, easiest way to get started and will allow you to grow in the future. What I hate to see is Amazing life coaches go out and spend a ton of money on a really complicated website that then doesn't serve them when they want to create a masterclass, or they want to offer a new freebie, or they want to create a product where people can buy right on their website. That requires many more hours of coding, many more hours and thousands of dollars of professional help that is not necessary. So this is the easiest way to get started. You can actually try ClickFunnels for 14 days for free. I'll give you that link in the description. One final tip I'll give you is that there are actual professionals who will build funnels and web pages inside of ClickFunnels for you, but then they don't require any additional money to keep it running because the program does that for you. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed and thinking, well, I don't want to learn all that by myself, you don't have to. You can hire a professional, but I highly recommend learning it yourself, because once you do, again, you have the power to change whatever you want and make it customized and work perfectly for your business. So save yourself tons of time, tons of money. Start with a simple web page that just invites people to give you their contact information so they can start down your funnel and eventually get the transformation that you are offering them through your amazing coaching. Let me know in the comments if you have a website already, if you built it yourself, or if you had someone else do it. I'd love to know.